Let me just start off by apologizing for the long wait to get to this point, and how a chunk of the footage will be almost half a year old. After Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl launched, I was hit by a strong wave of depression, and then Legends Arceus came out, so I want to focus time on that, and now we're here. I'm just never going to have a consistent upload schedule, am I? Well, better late than never. Here we go. The Sinnoh leg of the Genlocke with Pokémon Pearl. Starting off like so many Sinnoh runs, our neighbor Timmy, not Barry in this instance, drags us to the local lake to look for a red Gyarados, where we instead briefly meet Professor Rowan and his assistant Dawn, and when we try to retrieve the dropped briefcase, we get attacked by Vile Starly. So we borrow Genbu, the Turtwig, to take them out. Turtwig being my personal favorite from the Sinnoh trio, and it felt good to be using one once again. Professor Rowan lets us keep him when we go back to return him, and he then enlists us to do his labor of completing the Pokédex. You know, as you do with the reading professors in these games. After which, when I go to check the PC, I notice that I've forgotten to generate the Pokémon from Hoenn, so we have to do the entire game all over again, just start over from the start, so I can correct my own mistakes. Oops. After making sure I fixed the issue and got every single Pokemon ported in, we have all 7 MVPs ready to go, with Gyro the Baltoy taking over for Dryadle the Claydol. I decided to take Atlas and Gyro with me at the start of the game for no real reason other than wanted to use both of them. And after that we go and get the staple encounters everyone playing Diamond and Pearl can get at this point. A Bidoof, a Starly, and a Chinx named Carl, Ruri, and Lasuri respectively. And yes, if you are playing a Nuzlocke of either Diamond and Pearl, you are pretty much guaranteed all these 3. You just go back to the lake, catch either a Bidoof or a Starly there, go to the first route, catch the other one there, and then you are guaranteed the Chinx outside of Sandgem. All 3 of these have various uses in a Sinnoh run. Bidoof being able to use almost all the HMs in the game, Starly becoming a Staraptor, a very good Pokemon for your team, and Chinx can have Intimidate, while being an early game electric type. These 3, along with your starter, create a really solid core for your Sinnoh Nuzlocke. Though I am getting a little bit tired of using these 3 Pokemon specifically because you can see them in every single Sinnoh Nuzlocke, but you know, it is what it is. Not a whole lot else happened in the start of the game. We go to Jubilife, battle Timmy, catch ourselves Evaki the Zubat, enter the Orberg Gate, catch Granite the Geodude in there, and take care of all the trainers along the way before reaching Orberg and being told we need to go to the mines and pick up the gym leader so that he can do his duties. In the aforementioned mine we try to capture an Onix, but it literally got out of every single ball we had on our person, so that's the first failed capture, I guess. Moving on from that, we head north and do end up catching Ethan the Machop, who we then promptly trade away to Hillary for her Abra named Kaza. Not sure if I'm going to use him, but he's there if we end up needing him. After a quick training session, we go and murk Rourke by using Genbu, and only Genbu. We just spam withdraw on his Geodude since all his Pokemon are physical attackers and only have physical attacking moves as well, maxing out his defense and then proceeding to absorb and Razor Leaf until they all went down. After heading back to Jubilife and dealing with some goons from Team Galactic, we continue forward towards Floroma Town, catching ourselves Bouquet the Budew along the way, while also dealing with the traders, you know, as we do. We get to the Valley Windworks to continue with the story, and catch ourselves Milen the Shellos while we're there. I realized I had to grind a bit, just to be ready for Team Galactic Commander Mars and her level 16 Perugly, an incredibly strong Pokemon for how early you fight it in the game. With a base speed that puts it in the top 80 fastest Pokemon of all time, and back in Generation 4 it was in the 25th fastest spot overall. And if you count Pokemon you can actually end up going up against in a normal playthrough, it's among the top 10 fastest in the entire game. In other words, Perugly will most likely outspeed whatever you have at this point and hit you for big damage. My strategy was initially to wall up with Genbu, but he got hit by a Toxic from Zubat. I could just have stayed in and used some Pecha Berries and antidotes to heal off the poison, and gone with the defensive stall strategy, but Atlas is a Heracross and he deals big damage. With the Valley Windworks behind us, we can head north towards Eterna Forest, catching Jet the Weasel on the way there. When we enter Eterna Forest, we are greeted by Cheryl, who is going to be a valuable asset to do some grinding in the forest. even though I hardly ever take advantage of this fact. And with her help, we managed to catch Morgana the Mischievous and add him to the team. Oh, and Carl evolved into a Bibarel while taking on some trainers along the way. I was starting to feel good about my chance against Gardenia with how the team was coming along. And then I promptly throw a Walkie away to a Wild Pachirisu that used Bide because I was not paying attention. The Nuzlocke give it and the Nuzlocke take it away. I can't dwell on it too much, but it seems like I'm destined to not use a Crowbot at this point. Well, continuing on just past Eterna City, we managed to catch ourselves Windchime the Chingling to have some fodder in the PC, but the real reason I went over here was for the Mont Cornet encounter, which I decided to cash in right now and not later, getting myself Ishtar the Cleffa. An odd choice maybe, but if I manage to keep Ishtar with me through the generations, she will become a powerful fairy-type Clefable with insane bulk that will be incredibly difficult to take down. And I also just really like this Pokémon. I then proceed to spend some time training and also doing the underground bits to get Castle the Shieldon added to the squad. And after a bit of training, I felt we were ready for Eterna Gym, which Atlas basically soloed by using Aerial Ace. And even getting the guts boost from Gardenia's Rolls Raid poisoning him, and causing him to deal even more damage at that point, so yeah, that was fun. Just solo the entire Eterna City Gym, why not? Now it was time to take on Team Galactic in the Eterna building. The goons got smacked around a bit until I reached Jupiter herself, which I was not nearly as worried about as Mars. Her Zubat was easily dispatched up by Ruri, and the plan for a Skuntank was to deliberately get poisoned with Atlas so his guts would activate here as well. But she basically only got to use Smokescreen, Mr. Poison Gas, and Atlas had Aerial Ace, so that was easy. Atlas might be a bit too strong for Sinnoh, but I guess that's why Heracles is blocked behind honey trees. After traveling down the cycling road, we managed to find and capture Tornese the Bronzor, which I was quite excited about. Not because of the Bronzor itself, but because what this meant for a future encounter. In Diamond and Pearl, the only encounters in the Wayward Cave are Zubat, Geodude, Bronzor, and Gible. I've caught everything here except the Gible, and Dupe's Claws let me avoid catching the Zubats, so at a later point I can return here and capture the Gible, or at least attempt it. Not right now, because the cave is blocked this early on, but eventually this land shark will be mine. Unfortunately, for the next part of the Genlocke, I lost most of my footage. So I have to briefly summarize what happened up until Whalestone. Brutus was promptly added to the team along with Ishtar and both evolved. We got to Hearthome and battled Timmy there, got scrambled a Happiny from an egg, caught a Psyduck we named Stu, cashed in a Honey Train counter at Floroma Meadow to reclaim Annabelle the Apom after her loss to Flannery. Let's try to not lose her this time. Then I went past Solation Town and headed towards Whalestone, capturing Koromi the Cricketune, Hiromi the Ghastly, and Jockstrap the Ponyta on the way there. And finally we end up in Whalestone, which is where we finally pick up the game and continue with our journey after a long absence. The next gym leader we need to deal with is Maylene, and to do that we need to level up the entire squad. Her Lucario is at level 30, and I'm not going to go into battle with half a team of around low level 20s. So we head down to Route 214 to start training, and almost instantly we lose Genbu to a Goldine's Horn Drill, and then we lose Brutus to RNG against the Bronzor. No kidding, within like 15 minutes I lose both the grass type starters I had on the team. Maybe I'm rusty after 4 months of not playing, but what the heck was that? Well, those two losses are going to haunt me for a while, and now we have to restructure / train the team up a whole lot more to stand a chance against Maylene, Wake, and the rest of the game in general. So what follows is that I do the entire trek from Whalestone to Hearthome, capturing and training Pokémon along the way. The new Pokémon card includes Gloria the Hippopotamus, Birch the Sudowoodo, Gemini the Giraffarig, Camille the Wingull, Jerry the Marill, Quagmire the Wooper, and Finn the Pichu. And let me tell you, it was, well, not rough, but it was frustrating. Not only because I kept beating myself about losing both of my grass-type starters, but I also had to deal with a few Boom Boom Rocks along the way, nearly losing Milen as well. After a few hours, we return to Maylene with a newly trained squad. Ruri takes out Meditite, Tornese takes out Machoke, and Atlas murders Lucario. Atlas been doing a lot of heavy lifting, and will continue to do so from here, hopefully. Now here comes the part where I have to plan ahead and pick out the team, because right after we face Crasher Wake, it doesn't take long for us to fight against Fantina, so we need to start preparing teammates to deal with both of them right now. And thankfully, I have the perfect candidate from Hoenn just waiting to join us, Brooke the Kecleon. My plan is quite simple. Train Brooke up so we can make use of her special defensive stat and give her shockwave so we can more easily deal with Gyarados. Her use against Fantina will be explained when we get there, but involves her access to Ghost and Dark type moves and being a normal type. I also make sure to get Milen evolved into a Gastrodon. Her secret weapon lies in Hidden Power, which happens to be a Grass type move, making her ideal to take down Wake's Quagsire. With all of that prep work done, we stock up and enter Pastoria Gym. We lead against this Gyarados with Ruri to get Intimidate drops on him, making it easy for Brooke and the other teammates to withstand physical hits. We tried to bait out the physical move a few times so he doesn't go for Dragon Rage all the time, but end up switching to Milen instead, who knocks Gyarados out with a Body Slam, before making short work of Quagsire with her Hidden Power Grass, as planned. We keep her in on Floatzel just to gauge how much damage is being thrown around, and she's actually able to stand her ground and ends up winning the gym battle for us. I didn't expect Milen to be this good, but hey, Jaden Animations does love this goopy friend for a reason. Now, with Wake out of the way, we are more or less reaching the halfway point, so this is where I will end this video. Next up, we have to deal with Fantina and her Ghost types, who love to use confusions, and we know how much I hate RNG. Despite losing our grass starters, I have a good feeling about the later half of Sinnoh, especially Byron. Byron is a bit of a joke. Let's hope that I manage to turn all of this around and actually get a video out a little bit more quickly next time. But that is all for now. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't yet, share the video around, and Cobble Claw will be signing out for now. Peace out. See you next time.